Presets. Presets. So if you use presets, please note and be careful. This article is relevant to Adobe Photoshop CC version 2015.5 and earlier, and beginning with the CC 2017 release. Photoshop provides a new document creation experience, by the way, and while creating a new document you can now choose from a wide variety of templates from Adobe stock and blank presets. For details, see Create Document. So what about Migrate Presets from earlier version of Photoshop? Migrate presets from earlier version of Photoshop. You can migrate presets from earlier versions of Photoshop into newer versions, and the migrate presets command lets you automatically migrate brushes and swatches and gradients and patterns and more. And we have steps. Step number 1, choose edit, then presets, then migrate presets. Step number 2, click yes, and when prompted to import presets from an earlier version of Photoshop. Step number 3, click OK. And from an export migrating presets into Photoshop. From an export migrating presets into Photoshop, work with the presets manager. How to work with the preset manager? Preset manager. About the preset manager. The preset manager, by the way, lets you manage the libraries of preset brushes and swatches and gradients and styles and patterns and counters and custom shapes and preset tools that come with Photoshop. For example, you can use the preset manager to change the current set of preset items or create new libraries. And after you load a library in the preset manager, you can access the library's items in locations such as the option bars, panels, dialog boxes, and so on. In general, when you change a preset, Photoshop prompts you to save the changes as a new preset so that both the original and changed preset remain available. And each type of library has its own file extension, by the way, and default folder, and the preset files are installed on your computer inside the presets folder in the Adobe Photoshop application folder. And to open the preset manager, choose edit, then choose presets, then preset manager, and choose an option from the preset type menu to switch to a specific preset type. And you can adjust the configuration of presets by clicking the panel menu button and choosing a display mode from the top section of the menu. And what about text only? Text only displays the name of each preset item, by the way, and the small thumbnail or large thumbnail displays a thumbnail of each preset item, and the small list or large list displays the name and the thumbnail of each preset item. And what about stroke thumbnail? Stroke thumbnail displays a simple brush, stroke, and brush thumbnail of each brush preset. This option, by the way, is available for brush presets only. And to rearrange the list of items, drag an item up or down in the list, like a screenshot now. Rearranging tool presets in the preset manager. Note and be careful. To delete a preset in the preset manager, select the preset and click delete. And you can always use the reset command to restore the default item in the library. And how to load a library of preset items? How to load a library of preset items? Do one of the following. Click the triangle to the right of the preset type pop-up menu, and then choose a library file from the bottom of the panel menu. Then click OK to replace the current list, or click Append to add the current list. To add a library to the current list, click Load, then select the library file you want to add, and then click Load. And to replace the current list with a different library, choose Replace, then from the panel menu, select the library file you want to use and then click Load. Note and be careful again. Each type, by the way, of library has its own file extension and default folder. And manage preset items. how to manage presets items. You can rename or delete preset items, as well as create or restore libraries of presets. And how to rename preset items. If you would like to rename any preset items, how should you do? We have steps. Step number 1, select a preset item. Shift click to select multiple items. And step number 2, do one of the following. Click rename, then enter a new name for the brush and swatch and so on. And if the preset manager currently displays presets and as a thumbnail, double click as a preset and enter a new name and then click OK. And if the preset manager currently displays presets as a list of or text only, double click a preset, enter a new name in line, and press enter on Windows or return if you use Mac OS. How to delete preset items. If you would like to delete preset items, what should you do? Do one of the following. Select a preset item and then click delete, yes, and alt click if you use Windows or option click if you use Mac OS the items, by the way, you want to delete. And how to create a new library of presets. If you would like to create a new library of presets, what should you do? Do one of the following. To save all the presets in the list as a library, make sure that all items are selected, and to save a subset of the current list as a library, hold down shift and select the items you want to save. And then step number 2, click save set and choose a location for the library and enter a file name and click save. And you can save the library anywhere. And however, if you place the library file in the appropriate presets folder in the default preset location, the library name will appear at the bottom of the panel menu after you restart Photoshop. And how to restore the default library of preset items. How to restore the default library of presets items. Choose Reset from the panel menu, and you can either replace the current list or append the default library to the current list. Then default preset locations. Number 1, the default location for saving and loading and replacing presets depends on your operating system, like Windows 7 and Windows Vista, Drive and User and Photoshop, and if you use Mac, if you use Windows, and if you use Mac operating system, and if you use Windows XP. And number 2, presets that ship with Adobe Photoshop are stored in the Photoshop program folder, by the way. Displaying hidden files in Windows. How to displaying hidden files in Windows. The default locations, by the way, for saving and loading and replacing presets are hidden by default in Windows, by the way.